Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Vina Nailatul Izzah. I'm from class 4A. Today I will present my translation analysis of two different texts, an informative text and an expressive text. For the first is informative text. The first text is The 4 Pillars of Digital Literacy from Compass.com. This text explains the 4 pillars of digital literacy, include skills, security, culture, and ethics. It also discusses the importance of ICT, or Information and Communication Technology. In translating this text, I focused on accuracy and clarity. The first strategy I used is formal language. Since the text is news article or news text, the translation should sound formal and professional. For example, literasi digital is translated as digital literacy, and kecakapan is translated as skills. The second strategy is number and format consistency. I kept all numbers the same as the original text. For example, 4 pilar becomes 4 pillars, and 50 juta orang Indonesia becomes 50 million Indonesians. I also changed the date format into standard English format. The third strategy is omission of redundant words. Some Indonesian expressions sound repetitive if translated literally. For example, isi maupun konten informasi was translated as information and content to make it more natural in English. To maintain precision and clarity, I use terms that are commonly recognized internationally. For example, TIK was translated as ICT, which is widely used in English. And for the last, one challenge was translating technical terms and government institutions. Another challenge was changing long Indonesian sentences into natural English sentences without changing the meaning. Overall, the translation keeps the information accurate, clear, and easy to understand. Okay. Next, the second is expressive text. The second text is taken from the novel Melangkah by G.S. Khairin. Unlike the informative text, this text contains emotions, culture, and literary elements. Therefore, the goal is not only to translate the meaning but also to keep the feeling and atmosphere of the story. The first strategy is maintaining literary language. For example, Sang Mahapasti was translated as the Great Destiny. I choose this translation because it sounds more natural and keeps the poetic meaning of the original text. The second strategy is consistency of names and cultural terms. Names such as Runa and Yunu remain unchanged. Cultural terms such as pakaian adat Sumba are translated ceremonial Sumbanese attire to help readers understand the cultural context. And for the third strategy is omission of unnecessary words. Some expressions were simplified to make the translation smoother and easier to read. To maintain clarity, I use descriptive translation. For example, selembar tenun yang melilit kepala was translated as a woven cloth was wrapped around his head. This helps readers imagine the traditional clothing. And the last thing is challenge. One challenge was translating cultural expressions that do not have direct English equivalents. Another challenge was maintaining the emotional impact of the story. Expressions such as pertarungan hidup mati dan maut menjemputnya needed to sound natural while keeping their dramatic meaning. Overall, the translation tries to preserve the culture, emotions, and literary style of the original text. In conclusion, informative and expressive texts require different translation strategies. For informative texts, the focus is on accuracy, clarity, and factual information. But for expressive text, the focus is on emotion, culture, and literary style. By using different translation strategies, both texts can be understood by English reader while still preserving the meaning of the original text. Maybe that's all I can say. Thank you very much for your attention. See you.